Oh, fuck. Good afternoon, boys and girls. It is to be determined here. We are losing more than we are winning, and we need to fix that. So, made some big changes here this week. Seconds before the trade deadline. So, we'll go over that a little bit here. But, QBs, we figured it out, I think. I think we figured it out that when we have Tua in, we have a hit or miss, and there's a decent portion of our team is hit or miss, and we got to stop going for chances. We got to start going for more of a consistency. 27 versus 11 is a lot worse than 14 versus 24. But 14 can win you a week versus 11 is gonna fuck you over. Sometimes less than that. So. We got him off the team. He was on bye, he was on bye last week. Didn't play him. We lost Alex. That was brutal. 134 to 149. It was rough. His team balled out. Can't be mad about it. But we had Burrow score 19.88, even with I think a pick or so. We had Purdy get 23.84, and he was taken out in the third quarter. So. Pretty nice. Love that. Love to see that. Those are going to be my two QBs rolling for the remainder of the year. Need them to show up, show out, and really fucking press on. So, had Josh Jacobs and CMC. We had CMC at 17.2. No touchdown. He tied the record. He did not beat it. A little disappointing. Could have used 25, 26 points. Not that would have mattered a whole lot, but, we could have used it. Josh Jacobs at 11.7. We got his bum ass off the team. A little late, little sorry. We got Jonathan Taylor. I think he's going to be a beautiful star moving forward. Pretty happy about it. To be honest with you, he's on bye this week. Josh Jacobs and JJ were on the same bye in 13, so good luck with that. Tua's already gone through his bye, but, he's going to have to deal with week 13 being a win or lose kind of week. So if he loses this week, and then potentially loses next week, that's going to be pretty rough for him, especially with the team that he currently has. I think he very much so downgraded Mikey. I think he had a rock solid team, and I think he traded away too many players. I think the trade between us was great. I think he got some decent upside, but I don't know if he really needed to. But we're rocking with Cooper and Kirk here as our wide receiver 2 and 3 rest of the season behind Diggs. Traded up JJ for Diggs. I like that. Diggs is consistent. He had a bad week last week. Josh Allen had 2 picks and a fumble. So, you can't do much when you're throwing, 210 yards and you've got 3 turnovers. So that's just not great. But he's been pretty solid. I think he scored like 14 points consistently pretty much every week or more. So I need him to show out. But Cooper had 12.8. Deshaun Watson's out for a season. That's going to be rough, especially because I have Njoku as well, who, speaking of him, he got me 8.8. I think he's going to be tight end for me. I don't see anybody off waivers. Can't trade anymore. So I don't know. Streamed tight end all year long, but wasn't fantastic. Can't be terribly too mad about 8.8, but we need 10. I know that's pretty hard out of a tight end, especially when you're bottom barrel waiver wire pickup, but we're working with it. Christian Kirk got me 11.4. He's beautiful. He's 11 plus every week. I think he's had 2 off weeks this year outside of his bye, and other than that, he's been beautiful. So can't be mad about him. Gabe Davis, he is finally going to be out of the lineup, I think. This week, and I don't see him coming back unless he's just balling out or something by the end of the year. He might hopefully make it into the playoffs, and hopefully he's showing up by then, but right now he's just not doing fantastic. 8.4 points is just not going to do it. Drake London at 5.1, he's going to be off the lineup as well. We got Javonte Williams taking that flex spot. I think probably going to have that on lock with Jonathan Taylor having bye this week. Javonte Williams already had his bye, so those are going to be my, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, and Javonte Williams. I think pretty solid, to be honest. I think that's a big upgrade for me. I didn't really have anybody on my bench, and I was already kind of pretty weak in terms of depth. So getting a little bit there. We had Steelers D get me 8. We had Matt Gay get me 5, and we had Logan Cook get me 2. So, earlier in the season, first like 5-6 weeks, we had a really good special teams, and it's really dropped off. So we've made some changes this week. Big changes. We've turned the whole squad upside down since the beginning of the year. It's sad whenever you realize that if you didn't make any trades all year long, you probably would be tied for first right now, if not a much better record. We probably got 2 or 3 more wins under our belt, to be honest with you. Especially with Kamara. I think Kamara's a better running back than Javonte Williams by a long shot. I think he might even be better than Josh Jacobs. So that would mean that Kamara would be my number 2. Josh Jacobs would be my flex. That would be insane. Keenan Allen would be my number 1. We'd have Cooper as my number 2 and Christian Kirk as my number 3, or Cooper as my number 3 and Christian Kirk as my number 2. So that team, I think, would have been unstoppable this year, especially with QBs that I have. You'd love to fuck yourself in the first week or two, and that's what we did. I think we waited till week 3 to do that, but it was a fantastic trade at the time. It really just fucked us for our bye weeks, and if anybody got hurt, and well, JJ got hurt, so that was pretty much we can't lose JJ. We couldn't lose CMC. Anybody else we could have really lost, and it would have been okay, but it's rough when the number 1 pick horror each and every year in our fantasy league just tears an ACL, herps an hamstring, rolls an ankle, high ankle sprain, whatever it might be. It's just rough whenever that happens. So we've seen a lot of injuries this year, which is weird. I feel like the last few years we've had more and more injuries every single year. So I wonder what analytics will do. We got some controversy with the fields and turf and stuff. So we'll see what that happens. But we play Owen this week. Pretty happy about that. We're going to lose. It's all right. We made the trades we needed to have a lineup that could somewhat compete. I don't think Justin Jefferson is going to play this week. That's my personal opinion. He might. I don't know. Making this right before Thursday Night Football, so I have no clue what will happen, whether he's good to go or not. But that would still leave me with Gabe Davis or Tyler Boyd in my flex right now, or something like that. So I have Darrell Henderson. We could have had him there, but we would have had to play Boyd in the lineup regardless. So it's interesting. It gives me a little bit more depth. I think I got a better wide receiver, more consistent wide receiver, I think, out of it, especially with Josh Dobbs going. I think if Christian Kirk was still on the team and he's not hurt, I think I'm never making that trade, that big monumental trade there. I think I'm sticking with my guys. But since Josh Dobbs is there, I think he's shown a lot that he wants to be a starting QB in the NFL, and I think he's decent. But, oh, man, he just doesn't have the reps with him. It's a brand new team. It's a new offense. I know it's probably somewhat similar to what he could probably take some from what he's been off of. He's been on 6 teams in the last couple of years. So, he's smart, super smart, but man, if JJ comes out and scores 13 points every week, 14 points every week, then it's the same thing as Diggs, but I've got Diggs with Josh Allen, who pretty consistent number 1 QB in the league fantasy-wise. So, I'm pretty happy with that, especially with Gabe Davis sucking cock. They have Dalton Kincaid, but other than that, there's nobody else to throw to. They don't have really a great run game. So I just feel like I like that situation better. Josh Jacobs versus Jonathan Taylor, I think that's a toss-up end of the year, especially with only 5 or 6 games left in the season that matter for us, at least. That's kind of a toss-up. I like Jonathan Taylor, I think, more than Josh Jacobs. I know Josh Jacobs probably has a higher ceiling, but has a lower floor in my eyes. And Jonathan Taylor, I think he's good for 10-plus every single week, regardless of what happens, who they're facing. And I think he can get up there between 14 and 15 a week as well. Pretty consistently, I think he's shown it in the last couple of weeks. I think he could get 20, if they go out, especially with his schedule rest of the season. Josh Jacobs and Justin Jefferson had a decently harder schedule than I think the guys I acquired. So just looking into analytics and things like that. But we're approaching 10 minutes here. hopefully this can get out before Thursday night and fuck off.